So what is value pricing exactly? Now, this is particularly useful for service providers, but it doesn't mean that it's not applicable also to products, to people that sell products. So for people that sell products, we have, a different kettle of fish. We have our raw materials, we have our manufacturing processes, we have all of that stuff. But for service providers, we are selling, in effect, promises. We are selling our word. People have to trust us enough that we are going to do what we say we're going to do. So value pricing is part and parcel of that. Value pricing is trying to understand what is at the heart of what we're selling. What is it exactly? It's not just words on a page for a copywriter. Yeah, it's not just pixels, pushing pixels for a web designer. There is much, much more to it than that. So what is the value that we're seeking to sell to people? So the first part that I need to say is that I see a lot of business owners hiding from people. And you might be thinking, maybe she's talking about me. Let me explain. So I see a lot of business owners, they're on social media. They are going through the motions of, putting out regular marketing. They're perhaps updating their website regularly. Maybe they're blogging regularly. Maybe they're even sending regular email newsletters. But they're not actually being direct with people, and they're kind of waiting to be asked. They're waiting for somebody to tap them on the shoulder and say, you're who we need. You're the one we want. Yeah. And I hear this all the time. If people wanted me, they know where to find me. They can see my services page. I've got a website. I've got a services page. Surely if they wanted me, they'd have found me by now. And oftentimes we're kind of cutting off our nose to spite our face because we're not proactively pitching to people. We're not introducing ourselves to people. We're not getting curious about people. We're not being actively curious about other people. So if we're to get into value pricing, if we're to use value pricing, we need to understand the nitty-gritty detail of what it's costing people not to work with us. We need to understand the nitty-gritty detail of exactly how much people gain by working with us. Yeah, and we can't find this out if we're hiding from them, if we're not proactively asking questions, surveying people, putting up short, sharp polls in Facebook groups, perhaps. And also the other thing that happens, and this is very, very common if you're lacking confidence. It's a common thing if you feel nervous. If you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, you're in a client meeting or you're meeting a prospect, you talk too much. You're like, oh, I can't sit in silence. I've got to chat about the weather or, oh God, what was in the news lately? Like, what am I supposed to say here? So if we can just get more comfortable with silence, and if we can get used to directing the conversation through asking better questions of people and listening closely, then we can start understanding the heart of the value that we seek to offer people. We can understand their particular situation in a hell of a lot more detail than before. Because a lot of us are making a lot of assumptions. I make assumptions. I'm certain that we make assumptions because we have to in order to survive. Yeah, we have to take shortcuts, cognitive shortcuts, to help our poor brains to get through the day. But the problem is a lot of these assumptions cost us money. And I'm talking about assumptions like, there's no way I could possibly earn 100,000 working during school hours. There's no way I could possibly earn 200,000 in my particular industry. There's no way I could earn 300,000, without becoming some workaholic shell of a person, and people won't like me, and my clients won't like me either because I'll be charging too much, blah, 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 blah. A big one. People can't afford this. This person can't afford this. Yeah, this is a huge one. Trying to understand, what the person can afford. We are making it, it is none of our business to put our brains into other people's wallets to try and preempt what is in somebody else's bank account. That is none of our business. Yeah, it's a fool's errand for many, many reasons, not least of which it's costing us money.